go through. So I'm going to go to login. Of course, you know the login page /w-admin, and you go in that way. I think at one time it was a different login page. We secured it with a different URL, but I don't know what's happened since then. It may have.
Yeah. I use LastPass, so I've got everything stored within that. It's just one click and.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you log in, of course, you see your dashboard. And the dashboard has a tiny bit of information about the website, number of posts, number of pages, some recently published activity. No one really spends a lot of time on the dashboard. Everything useful is down here on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's ever used a quick draft tool here to create a new post, but it's there if you want it. It's down here on the left-hand side. This is where all the magic happens, is what we say. So starting from top to bottom, we usually look at posts first, and these are the difference between a post and a page in my mind is a post is something dynamic. It's a news item. It's something that may have an expiry date, something that in a month's time, 2 months' time, a year's time will be old information. So that's what I class as a post. Useful stuff to get on there, of course, and keep it updated, but it's news items. The page is something more static. So something like the contact page or home page itself. You're never going to delete these pages. You may add to them. Page a bit more static.
Yeah, I understand that. It took me quite a while to really understand the difference between them, and there isn't a great deal. But the way WordPress works and setting out your posts as on a blog page or something, that's obviously different to a page. So yeah, I appreciate those. That there are differences there. I understand that.
Very small differences. Especially when you're actually creating them. The page for that looks the same for both posts and pages. Subtle differences, but we can look at those in a little bit of detail as well. A post as well will feed into a page that's set up to have those posts showing. Homepage has a feed for the posts. I think there may be a news page as well. We put that on there, news tab up here, and these posts will feed into this automatically, whereas a page you have to add that to a menu, and that's the difference with that. So I'm going to go into the editor now, and all I did was under posts I clicked on add new and add new post, and this is where we create our new news item, if you like. And you give it your title, news post, and you fill in your text, lots of text. And you put as much lots of text in as you like. And in its most basic form, that's a post. You put your title and publish. And as I say, that's all you have to do. Title, text, publish, and it will feed through straight to the news page or the home page as well with that information there. So cuts it off so we can read more. It has space for a featured image. A standard layout for posts, I would say always use the default editor.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with Divi, elegant theme.
Elegant themes, Divi Builder.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with that. And of course, there are a lot of other ones about Brizy and Elementor, which I'm not familiar with. But when I saw that block, advanced layout, I just thought, I wonder whether, we're just doing things the old-fashioned way and whether there's a newer way. But
no, there is. No, absolutely. So we'll go through that on pages and I'll give you that. And if you've used Divi, hopefully you like this a little bit more, because I've used Divi and I've used most of them. In fact, the Elementor one, the Visual Page Builder, Beaver Builder, all the different ones out there. And I find this one out of all of them the easiest and most comprehensive to use.
All right, okay.
Gives you a lot of options without sort of hiding a lot away. And I find that with Divi, it's always quite a challenge to know where you're going, what you're doing. And it gives you so many options as well. Just far too many, I think, for the average user. So this is a nice combination of power and a refined layout, I think, on how to use it. So we'll have a look at that.
Okay.
So with posts as well, you can add attachments, definitely. You can add a PDF on there as well, and that will sit below the main text. And then, of course, as you know, your featured image down here on the right-hand side.
Now, question. I keep wanting to put my hand up and say, please, sir, please, I've got a question. When you is it okay? First of all, is it okay if I just sort of hit you with a question as I see them? Is that
absolutely? Yeah.
Okay. So where you've got that box there to add an attachment in, where is that going? Where is that being stored? Because I noticed that what Denise is doing is putting documents into the media library, but I noticed that there is a documents folder, I think, or a documents area.
No, that's a great question. So for things like this, the pages and posts, and you want to put it as an attachment, it's your media library. So that's where you would get your attachment from, upload it into your media library, and you're done in that sense.
Okay, right.
So, there you go. I'm going to add the Harrogate District OS March, the Ordnance Survey, something like that. I'd selected, add that to it, and that's just from the library and update. Now the documents, it doesn't use the media library, it sort of bypasses that to keep the media library clean, if you like, separate from having it full of lots and lots of financial documents and the other things like that. We like to keep it separate to maybe help understand where different parts of the website are and different pages of content are, but we'll come to that after, if that's okay.
All right, yeah, fine, no problem.
So news post, there's your attachment there, just put underneath, and a little bordered box as well, just to make it stand out. And again, you can share it, you can do all those things. But this is just click that, and it will share it to your own Twitter account, or so on and so forth. And of course, Google Plus now discontinued, so we've got rid of that.
Yeah. So just to be clear, they're sharing to whoever's looking at the screen.
Yeah. So if I'm logged into my Facebook, for example, in a window behind this, and I click on share on Facebook, it would open up my profile and it will share it on my feed. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, understood. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. So the other thing as well, which I always like to talk about, is when you are logged in, you get the black bar at the top, which gives you a quick way to get back to edit that post or that page. And I find that really useful when you're browsing through the website. You don't have to log back into the dashboard, go through your list of pages or posts. You click the link at the top and it goes straight to that page to edit it.
Yeah,
that's really nice. The other thing, was the featured images. So we'll find an image for you. Let's find a really nice one. Ooh, yeah, let's have a go. Let's go with one of these original ones and add that to the page and update. And it featured it. It's just a nice little bit of visual color, bit of photo information to put on the page, just to make it look a bit nicer. We can hide it from the individual post as well. And what that means is you've got your featured image, so you'll always see it maybe over here in the left-hand side as your thumbnail. And then when you go into that page, maybe you don't want to see it at the top. You can hide it from that post with the tick box below that. So don't display image on single post, and that will just remove it from the actual post itself.
Okay, right.
So it's quite useful.
Yeah. So if you had inserted a media clip right above your text, so that would be on the page, then and you wanted that to be the header image, you could still have a feature image, but don't display it on the post.
That's absolutely right, Steve.
Yeah. So that featured image would appear in the news thread as the little image against each news item.
That's right.
Right. And then you'd click through, and then you'd see a different image at the top of the page, which would be the one that you've inserted onto the page itself. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Happy with that?
Okay. Fab. Okay. So what we use, I don't know if it's a website you're familiar with, but unsplash.com.
Oh yeah, Unsplash, Pixabay, yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic free image resource, but there's a plugin that we've got that can pull those images straight into the WordPress dashboard. So it's a really nice way of doing it. You don't have to go and browse Unsplash directly. We can just pull it through. So I'm just going to get that over. So plugins, I'm just going to add a new plugin. Upload plugin, Unsplash, bring that in and activate it. But in the admin area now, under the dashboard, down here on the left-hand side, Unsplash is at the bottom. And it's very simple interface with what we've got here. But for example, if I typed in a very hot topic at the moment, of course, coronavirus, select orientation, landscape is fine, and sort by popular, it will search their image library of images that we can then use. I like this one of this coronavirus visualization, import that image to my library. And what that will do is it will save it. It'll bring it over to the media library. And while that's doing that, it crops it to all the different sizes that we've got in the system. So every image that's ever uploaded usually crops it to about 10 different versions of that so that it can be used elsewhere on the website very quickly.
Okay.
So you've got thumbnail sizes and you've got other sizes as well that it can do. It also brings over the alternative text, which is very useful now because we have to be mindful of accessibility, and all images should have this alternative text to describe what that image is if you can't see the image fully.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
sorry. Just on that, then you're saying it brings in all multiple sizes. So does that then create multiple images in the media library?
One image in the media library,
but
you can select the image when you're inserting it. You can usually select the size.
Oh yes, yeah. The little drop-down box, bottom right. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Absolutely. So we have a lot of different sizes. Maybe for the the slideshow on the home page, there's one size that's optimized for that, and it will crop that image down so it can be used. And of course, as I was going back to earlier, if each big image is cropped down to 10 different sizes, you've got 10 images, and it takes a little bit of storage space. So it's not a problem at all, really isn't. I shouldn't mention it in that sense because it's no issue. But use the website freely. But if there is any reason in the future that we need to sort of look at the server usage or anything like that, we'd let you know. But I don't think there's a problem. There's no problem at all.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. Okay. So that was news posts. I'm going to go back in and edit this one. Everything else on this page, I would say leave as standard. So leave your header transparency, title settings, footer settings, sidebar settings. Leave it unless you want to do something different. It should all be okay as it stands. Everything there should be set up for you to use. Tags. Those are useful if you're using the search bar very often. So if you want to tag a post with a certain keyword, you can do it that way. Just put a tag in there, and when people are searching, it should bring up that post associated with that tag. Categories, you've only got one category, so it will automatically go into that news category. If you've got more than one category, it's always good practice to obviously tick the category you want the post to go into, and then you can separate posts based on categories. But we only ever say that, well, most of the time one's enough.
Yeah, I understand.
Format, standard again is the fine format to use there for that. We do have settings in the publish box up here as well, so you can publish it in the future if you wanted to. You set a date, put it in the future, and it will schedule to go out on that date. It will be published live on that date. So it could be in the future. It could also be in the past, although it would always be seen if you're just changing the date in the past. It's still visible. Revisions is a good one as well. It shows us how many edits we've ever made to the page, and we can scrub back to those edits. If we ever wanted to, for example, we've deleted something by accident and we want to restore it, we can go through the list of revisions and restore that post then as well. So it's a nice little single page backup, if you like.
Okay.
Visibility, public. I would always say it should be public. No need to password protect or make it private. And status is published. You can have it as a draft if you wanted to. So you've got it in the editor, and you can carry on editing it until you're ready to publish it.
Yeah, I think you'll see that my London Bridge one is on draft at the minute.
Absolutely, yep. I've seen that one. But I don't want to keep this post now. I'm happy to remove it, move it to bin, and gets it rid from the website, gets it from the news page. It's removed from that. It does go into a bin folder up here where you can delete it or restore it. So I'm going to delete permanently for that. Okay, so hopefully, Steve, I know you've looked at posts before, you've done a few, but hopefully that was useful.
Yeah, that's fine. Lovely, thank you.
Excellent. So I'm going to skip past events and media, and I'll come back to those slightly in a little bit, but we'll look at pages now.